What's going on, everyone? It's time for another Universal Classic Monsters horror film review. We're continuing on with the Wolfman films. Now, I'm not sure this one's canon or the next one we review is canon to it, but it's in the collection, like the Blu-ray and DVD sets, so I'm going to review it anyways. Today we're going to be talking about Werewolf of London. It's released by Universal May 13th, 1935. It was written by John Cotton, produced by Stanley Burnsman, and directed by Stuart Walker, who has also done other films like The Eagle and the Hawk, White Woman, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, and Great Expectations, to name a few. This had a budget of $195,000, which is a moderate budget back in like the 30s for films. And this is probably one of the first like werewolf movies. I think this one came out, I believe, right before it was in production before The Wolfman, and then The Wolfman got released before it, and then it got released, or vice versa. Something weird like that happened. So, Werewolf of London. Well, a botanist is a guy who studies plants is examining this plant that seems to thrive in moonlight, and only in moonlight, and so he's studying it in Tibet, where he gets bitten by a weird creature, and they're not sure what it is or anything like that. There's a couple of different speculations. So he goes back to the US, and some weird murders occur, and it's just odd, where he learns from another scientist that the plant he's actually looking for in certain folklores and stuff is actually the main plant that can cure werewolves. And he finds that a little bit odd, but then finds himself going through a transformation at the next full moon, and has to find a way to stop it and get a hold of the plant. This is a neat little thriller creature feature type film from the 30s. It's definitely one of the very first werewolf type films, at least made in North America, that I'm aware of. And it was actually pretty interesting. The characters are well put together for this type of story, and obviously you have your tropes nowadays, your standard story tropes, like there's a love interest and all that fun stuff, and they do a good job at keeping the monster concealed to at least the halfway point, and then once you see the full transformation, which is pretty good, it's very reminiscent of the Wolfman, but I think that's like the only technique they knew back in the 30s on how to make a wolf man costume and do with makeup and stuff. So it does look really good, and the person playing the Wolfman in this film is actually does a really good job, and being like the emotionally unstable set to the once he's in that vicious wolf mode, prowling the streets and stuff like that. It's very convincing and well done. This is definitely an underrated classic film. I never even knew about this till I started watching this Universal Monsters collection, so but I was definitely impressed by this. There's not much really to complain about. The pacing might be a little off for some people, but it's a little slow in some parts, I guess you could say, but overall it is a well thought out and well put together werewolf film with a little more scientific style to it. Probably not all true, but definitely leans more into the folklore and how to cure it and stuff. This one doesn't rely on gypsies telling you everything, but and I believe, like I said, I think this was the first werewolf movie, at least from Universal, or it was in production first. I can't remember the exact details off the top of my head right now, but it's cool to know that there's something like this. There's even a sequel to this, which I'll review in the next review, but I consider it a sequel. Some people don't, but we'll get into that later. But so Werewolf of London is a fun little werewolf movie. It's a good little horror monster movie made from the 30s, and it's definitely worth your time, even though it is in black and white, so a lot of people probably won't check it out, but you should definitely check it out. It's a really good one, very little flaws, and definitely a fun, enjoying, good little popcorn flick of a monster movie. I'm going to give Werewolf of London a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was really well done and really good and fun. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, especially with like classic movies and like all these classic monster movies and stuff. You'll definitely enjoy this. And even if you like werewolf movies in general, this one's actually pretty well done. So yeah, but yeah, there's a trailer for it linked down below, like always. Also linked down below is my Instagram, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. Usually I have the film title hashtag in the subgenre film, the hashtag so you're aware of it. Also, my Letterbox is down below, Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films on there. So yeah, make sure you follow me on one of those two platforms to stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share it to more people aware of it, comment your opinions of the film down below, let me know your thought, and let me know what your favorite Universal classic monster movie is down below too. And if you have a favorite werewolf movie from the classic werewolf Universal Wolfman collection franchise series, whatever you want to call it, let me know down below too. I'd love to hear your thoughts on those. So yeah, we got one more for the werewolf ones, then we're moving on to another whole nother set of monster movies. So but yeah, so yeah, but make sure you subscribe so you could either learn more about weird, obscure, and odd films that I find that I think are good and need to be talked about more, or so you hear my opinions on popular films and classic films like this one as well, or hopefully so we find something weird, obscure, and odd. So hopefully we find something weird, obscure, and odd for you to check out together. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell, because the next one is technically considered a sequel, I think, for this film, but it's completely different. So some people don't, but we're going to be talking about the classic spin of the Wolfman, She-Wolf of London. Yeah, we're going to be diving into that film in the next review. But yeah, Werewolf of London is a fun film, and it's definitely a good werewolf movie. Just a fun popcorn flick with very little flaws. So if you want to check out something interesting, weird, and just something out of the norm that most people probably I haven't really seen most people talk about recently, is Werewolf of London. Definitely check it out. Don't mind the black and white. Black and white movies are usually good in their own perfect ways, so that you don't see nowadays in modern film. But yeah, but that's it for this one. Watch out for all the crazy guys changing into wolves near you, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So until then, cheers.